Welcome to the Your Business on Purpose podcast, the ultimate resource for women business owners looking to confidently navigate their entrepreneurial journey while upholding their principles. I'm Dawnette Palmore, your host and fellow entrepreneur. Join me as we immerse ourselves in illuminating conversations with accomplished experts spanning various fields across the business spectrum. Together, we'll unearth strategic insights into seizing opportunities and ensuring that your business is equipped with the essential elements aligned with your purpose and values. Welcome back to Your Business on Purpose. I am your host, Dawnette Palmore, Fractional CFO, money coach, and insurance strategist. Today, we're diving into the year-end money moves that make a real significant difference. Not just tax-wise, but also when it comes to protecting what you've built. Because we got to protect what we build, right? So if you're already feeling maybe like you're behind and you've told yourself, ugh, I'll deal with this in January. Take a breath. You're not alone. So this episode is actually designed to take the pressure off of you, not pile more on. Because let's just face it, as busy, we're busy entrepreneurs. We're busy people in general. And we spend the entire year pouring into our clients, projects, events, families, and everything else that we can think of. And suddenly it's December and we're like, oh no, how am I going to get these taxes done? How am I going to get everything organized? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's here. So today I want to talk with you. I want to walk with you through the things that actually matter. Not from a place of fear or scrambling, but from a place of awareness. The moves that help you make more money, reduce your stress, and make sure you're protected going into the new year. So let's dive into it. Something that most people don't realize is our taxes and our insurance don't live in two separate worlds. They are very deeply connected to how our businesses actually operate. So every time our revenue changes, our risk changes. Every time you hire someone, your risk changes. Every time you buy equipment, invest in software, launch a new program, or add a service, something shifts. But most entrepreneurs don't, and it's not just entrepreneurs, most people don't update anything. One, we're too busy, but sometimes we don't really think about it. We don't think, oh, I need to change this. Oh, I need to change that. And sometimes it's not till the tax bill comes or a claim gets denied that we think, oh no, I should have handled that. So that's why we're here. We're here to let you know those things so you can get them handled. And it doesn't have to be stressful, and it doesn't have to be last minute. It doesn't have to be guilt, none of that stuff. So year end is your chance to make sure everything actually lines up with the business you're running today, not the one you had last January. So one of the things you can do is if you're running a cash-based business, which most of us probably are, this is really a simple way to reduce your taxable income. And I also want to emphasize something before I say this, but I'm not telling you to go spend a bunch of money, okay? So please don't do that. And I'd also like to preface this before we dive even deeper into this, is that you should talk to your tax professional. Take what I'm saying, but also go consult with your tax professional. So that way you can make sure that you guys are doing the things that are aligned with your business and everything is to the T. Because some of these things I'm going to suggest, there's also things you got to do with it. So make sure you're working with a competent tax professional that understands tax strategy. Okay, so if you're already going to renew a software in January, let's say, or you're signing up for like coaching or office rent is due, or maybe you have contractors you plan to use, you can then pay those ahead of time to give yourself a deduction this year instead of next year. And again, please be working with a tax professional doing this. They're going to let you know if one, your business can afford it, if this is the best tax strategy for you, and how you can work that in and make sure all your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted with the IRS, because we want to make sure we're doing this legally and responsibly, right? So you can actually write those checks today, give them to the people, and take the deduction this year in versus next year if your tax liability is really high. This is why having our numbers in order is crucial, so that we know what our tax liability is going to be too. So also, if you know your liability policy or your cyber policy or some kind of professional liability policy renewing soon, you can also prepay that. And while you're looking at them, you can ask yourself, does this still match what I do? Does this still match my revenue? Is this still enough coverage? Is it too much coverage? Like, this is also the time to look at those things and ask those questions, because we don't want to be overpaying just to overpay. I don't want you spending, a dollar to save 35 cents. Like, we don't want to do that. We want to make sure. That's why, again, working with a tax professional to make sure you're getting the best deductions for your business. Okay. This one is super easy to ignore. And we've talked about this over and over again, but subscriptions, right? We all have, is there like this one software subscription that we all have that we signed up for? The one that, auto renewed, or maybe it's an app that's been charging us like $29 a month for 9 months, even though we've never opened it. Oh my gosh, I have had that happen. That's so frustrating. I get so upset at myself when that happens. This is why it's important to be super diligent and be in your numbers. But this is actually, the perfect time to pull up your statements and look at everything. And again, while you're in the mindset, glance at your insurance policies the same way you look at your subscriptions. So here's how we're going to look at our subscriptions. Or I should say, look at your subscriptions the same way you look at your insurance policies. Do I still need this? Am I using this? Is it outdated? Am I paying for something I don't need any longer that doesn't serve me? Or is there something missing? Do I need to buy the upgrade? Do I need to buy whatever the next level of this is? So sometimes, I find that people are overpaying for coverage or for subscriptions that they don't need. And other times we find gaps that, could literally be business ending if something was to happen. So this is really about alignment, right? Being aligned, making sure that you're covered properly, making sure that you're keeping all the money that you can keep, because why are we giving away free money if we're not using something? Right? Okay, another thing you could do is you can hire your children. Now, this can be a beautiful strategic move if you have kids who can help you in the business. And I hired my kids, oh my gosh, they were like 8-ish, 8, 9-ish, when I put them on payroll. And they earned commission. So if they didn't do it, they didn't earn. It was a great way to teach them about money. They opened bank accounts, they did all this. But another podcast for another day. But they could do things like your social media. They could do admin work. They can clean your office. They can help with photos, run errands. They do have to be doing something in your business. We don't just pay them because they're our children. But we want to give them a real task. And this, again, can be something so beautiful and teach your children real money skills, earning. We have to earn. I mean, we have to work to earn, I should say. There's so much that we can learn, that our children can learn through all this. So you get a deduction while they get tax-free income up to the standard deduction. This is why you have to be working with a tax professional. Awesome. Okay. So there's, sometimes people don't talk about this, but I think that this hiring your kids is so important, right? It gives them a sense of responsibility. It really gives them this sense of accomplishment. Like, it does so much for them. So think about that. Can you Do you have something your children can do that you can pay them for? Think about it. I think it's one of the best things I did for my kids. Okay, then there's a thing called the Augusta rule. And it's another one that people forget about, but you can rent your home to your business up to 14 days a year and deduct it while the income you receive personally is tax-free. And this is why we need to be working with a tax professional. Absolutely. So a lot of people use these days for planning days, content days, staff meetings, especially if they already have a home setup they love. Like, how easy is that, right? This, and again, working with our tax professional, there's a lot of T's we need to cross and I's we need to dot when we do this, but this could be huge for us, for your business. What a huge deduction. Great time to have a retreat. Great, whatever you want to call it, planning days, content days, so many things you can do to rent your home to your business, so that you can get that end year tax deduction and save money. So if people are coming to your home for work-related activities, you also, even if it's occasionally, you want to make sure your homeowner's insurance isn't excluding business use. Okay. So please check with your insurance agent and make sure that you're covered that way, because God forbid something happened, but sometimes things happen and we want to make sure that you are covered. Because what good is a deduction if it's actually going to cost us more if something happens? There's also home office deduction. A lot of people know about this, but if you don't, if you work for home, you probably have an office, you probably have a space that you work in, right? You probably have equipment in your office space that you use. Cameras, lighting, computers. I mean, I have mic, I have headphones, I have my camera, I have my lighting, I have all these things, right? And a lot of people will assume that their homeowner's insurance is going to cover all that. But sometimes they don't. So this is why you also have to be working with an insurance agent who knows what you need so that you can make sure you're protected and all your stuff is protected. We want to think about this stuff, but also you can write off your home office. You can write off, part of your utilities, part of your rent or mortgage payment. All these things can be a tax deduction, which will save you money on your taxes, but then it also gives you a little bit money to your personal side. So think about that. Work with your tax professional on what that looks like for you, because there are specific rules that you have to follow when you do that. And then think about, do I need to insure the things that are around me because I'm using them for business and not for personal use? And then get with your insurance agent and talk to them about that as well. Okay, so did you purchase any equipment this year? So if you bought equipment this year, again, computers, cameras, office furniture, gear, whatever that may be, you can write the total cost off this year. This is a Section 179 and equipment purchases. So talk to your tax professional about Section 179. And again, I want to reiterate that sometimes tax professionals will encourage you to do this, but I'm not telling you to go shopping, okay? If you already made the purchase, make sure that you're being deducted properly, that you are taking all that stuff. Bonus depreciation is what they call it, taking it, and you're working with your tax professional to make sure that you're doing it correctly. And then, of course, we also want to make sure that it's insured properly as well. And, I can't tell you how many people lose equipment while traveling, or something gets broken, or a camera gets damaged. I mean, things just happen, right? It doesn't matter if it's owned by our business or by us. Things break. I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. But this is a perfect time to get all of that stuff aligned. Can I take this 100% deduction? But again, working with our tax professional, because if we take 100% deduction this year, we can't take any next year. So this is why this stuff is so important. But again, if you have a high tax liability, these are great strategies to implement and then to think about going forward. And then, of course, we have mileage, meals, and travel, right? A lot of us, or a lot of you, us, we travel, we do like retreat trips, planning trips, conferences, business meals. They're all deductible, but we have to track them. Okay, so if you're traveling with equipment or hosting retreats in rented spaces, it's a great moment to check if your policy covers you during those activities. See how all this works together, how our money and insurance, our finances and insurance work together? Because we have to insure risk. Because if we don't insure risk and something happens, we end up paying a lot more money out of our pocket than if we just pay for a policy. We also want to make sure that we're covered. And that we're writing things off the right way, right? That we're deducting them the right way. This is why I did a whole podcast on wise counsel and why we need to make sure that we have wise counsel around us, trusted people around us, trusted professionals working with us so that we can make sure all these things are in line correctly. Okay, I know that was a lot. I also want to encourage you to download my free ebook, Business Finances. And you can get there's a link in my show notes. You can go to my website. You can get it there too. It's an outline of a lot of the things I talk about on the podcast. You can download it. You can go through it by yourself. If you need help, you can get with your tax professional if you work with a coach, or you can go to my website and make an appointment and we can work together. We can, see how we can work together. How are we a good fit? Are we a good fit? Those are great questions, all things to ask. And yes, are my services a deduction? Absolutely. So wrapping this up, when you look at your finances and insurance side by side like this, things really start to make sense. And I hope that I kind of showed you and painted that picture of how these things go together and commingle, and you really shouldn't have one without the other. So it's, obviously we're not trying to be perfect here. We never can, but, and we may not catch everything, but right now I just want to help you understand your business from a 360-degree view, not just a little view, not just half a view, not just a fraction of a view, but the whole thing, right? What are you paying for? What are you no longer using? Where are you exposed? Where are you overspending? What needs updating? What needs to be added? What needs to let go? Like there's so much, right? And it's really because when you get that clarity, you feel lighter, you feel more in control, and you feel prepared going into the next year. And it even prepares us even more for the years coming, right? So we can look into the future without fear, without stress, but with hope, with peace, with alignment, and without guilt. So again, make sure you're working with professionals. If you don't have any you work with, hit me up on the podcast. You can do my website, my Instagram, and I can find somebody for you. I have people I work with all the time that I can help find somebody that can help you. So make it simple, make it doable. And episode 183, we're going to be talking about your entire entity structure, your liability, and how to build long-term protection that actually matches the business you're growing. Because our business changes. We need to make changes, which we've talked a little bit about in this podcast, in this episode. So as always, from chaos to clarity, your journey starts here. This podcast is dedicated to you and all the incredible women out there breaking chains, pushing through, and striving to make it all work. Your support truly means the world to me. Could you do me a favor? Be a gem and leave a review. It will help us reach even more women, making a bigger impact. Your feedback is invaluable, and I would genuinely appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, ensuring you never miss an episode. Until next week, live a purposeful life in both your business and your finances.